All right, this is Mr. Gillum, and today we're going to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators and like denominators, but they're also going to be positive or negative values. So we might have a positive or 1/3 plus negative 4/5, or something like that. So, or minus a negative, things like that. So we're just going to add some sign changes inside our addition of fractions. Now the big deal here, the thing that we really need to keep in mind is we need to change all our mixed numbers into improper fractions. Because if we try to change negative, like say negative 2 and 3/8, what I see is a lot of students, they do 8 times negative 2, which is negative 16 plus 3 over 8, which is negative 13 over 8, which is not the case. All right, what we need to have is negative, that's it's like a negative value. We still need to do 8 times 2 is 16 plus 3 is 19. So we still need to have 19/8, negative 19/8. So it's easy to get confused on this. So we're going to practice how to change those mixed numbers into improper fractions. But that negative just means it's a negative value. It does not change when we add the number for our model. Okay, so we've been practicing for a while now, so I think this should go pretty well. Let's start with changing all of our fractions into improper fractions if they're mixed numbers. So I'm going to leave the negative 3/4 the same. Plus, now since we've already modeled these plenty of times, 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. 3/2. And so now I have these two denominators and they don't quite match yet. So what we've been doing is we've been making this LCM chart for least common multiples until we find which one it is. So negative 3/4 I can leave as negative 3/4. I'm going to multiply it by, since this 4 is the first multiple and is the least common multiple, I'm going to multiply it by 1 over 1. I'm going to put a plus sign, and I'm going to take 3/2 times 2, because 4 is the second multiple. And the whole point of this is to get our common denominator. So now I have negative 3/4 plus 6/4. And if you look at 6/4, it really is the same thing as 3/2, just not simplified. But now the nice thing about it is my fractions have common denominator, that being the least common multiple, and I can add them together. So negative 3 plus 6 is 3, 3/4. And there's my solution. Okay, so the only difference we're making is we're just going to have some negatives or positives thrown in the mix, and we just need to make sure we're moving the right way on the number line. So in this case, we have a minus minus. So what I'm going to do right away before I do anything else, I'm going to do a change. So I'm just going to change this to 2 5/8 plus 2/5. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Then I need to know what this is as an improper fraction. So I'm going to take 8 times 2, 16 plus 5, 21. 21/8 plus 2/5. Now we're in good shape. I'm going to make my little tree here, my least common multiple deal. I'm going to say 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And unfortunately, I think that might be the least common multiple is way down here at 40. In fact, I know it is. So we have some bigger numbers now. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth number. Okay, so I'm going to take 21/8 times my fifth multiple, so times 5 over 5, plus 2/5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 over 8. And now the nice thing about this, and the reason I'm doing that, I'm multiplying it by 1, so I'm not actually changing the value of my fraction. I'm multiplying it by 1, but I'm making it look different so that I can add these numbers together a little better. So when I take 21 times 5, 105, ooh, big number, over 40, and then plus 16 over 40. So together I have 121 over 40. And there's my solution. Okay, so once again, the only new step we're adding is that this minus minus is a plus plus, but we already knew that, so it should be a piece of cake for us today. Take a look at this next one here, and like I said, this can be one of those tricky ones here. You see this negative sign? He doesn't have to do with what we're changing right here. It just means it's a negative 3.5. So we still need to change 3.5 to an improper fraction. We just need to make sure that our value is negative when we're done. 2 times 3 plus 1, 7 halves, and it's negative. We do not do 2 times negative 3 plus 1. That would be negative 5 halves. You see how you could get a different answer if you do it the wrong way? So we just need to make sure that the negative goes just to our value. It doesn't impact when we're changing our our mixed number into an improper fraction. And I'm just going to rewrite the second part, minus 4/7. And now I just have another problem here. I'm going to do change plus negative 4/7 because I know that if it's the same signs, negative, negative, I can add and keep. So different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger number than the exact. But anyway, -7 and -4 will go together well. But I can't do that until my 2 and my 7 are the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and make my little chart again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 7, 7, 14. Oh, right there. There's the first one. 14. A 2, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th one down. So I'm going to take my -7/2. I'm going to times it by 7/7, multiply it by 7/7. I'm going to add, because we did a change, which is, remember, we've been changing for a while now. I'm going to add -4/7 times, in this case, 1, 2, I'm going to multiply it by 2/2. Now the whole point being is to match my denominators together so I can add these fractions. So when I multiply, I have -49/14 plus -8/14. Same signs, add and keep. So I'm going to say that's -57/14. And that is my best answer. Nothing to reduce there. Okay? You don't have to change to an improper fraction, nothing like, or you don't have to change to a mixed number. That's it. That's as good as it needs to be. All right, so the only thing we're changing, we're adding in these rules of adding and subtracting with the change that we have been learning about with integers. Okay, let's look at another one here. Ooh, this one's just really straightforward. 2/3 minus 9/10. Let's just do it at a negative. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to say 3 and 10 need to match. What's the smallest number that will make them match? All right, there it is, 30. So, this is going to be a big one. 2/3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I need to add that with 9/10, so -9/10 times 1, 2, 3, 3/3. And so I'm going to say 20/30, which is still really 2/3, plus -27/30, which is -9 times 3/10 times 3. And I'm going to say, okay, same signs add and keep. They're not the same signs. One's positive, one's negative. Different signs subtract. 27 minus 20 is 7. Keep the sign of the bigger number, -27. And 27 is bigger than 20. Then you'll be exact. Or if you don't like the song, what you can think of is if I'm 20 out of the hole, I'm going down 20 to 0. If I've already used up 20 of this, there's only 7 left to go down. So I'll be 7 in the hole. -7/30. Nothing to reduce or simplify or anything, so that's it. So let's look at the last one here. One of my favorites. And let's go ahead and change it right now to get rid of that subtraction. We don't like that subtraction sign. We like to do all addition. So I'm going to say 5/6 plus, and remember this negative stays away from the -3 when I'm changing it. I just need to remember it's a negative value. 12 times 3 is 36, 37. All right, and so now I need to find a common denominator between 6 and 12. That shouldn't be too hard. All right, looks like that's the first one. That's the second one over here. So 5/6 times the second multiple would equal the 12 that we're looking for. And 37/12 times, well, it's already the first multiple. We want it to be a 12 on the bottom, so we're not going to really change it. 10/12 plus -37/12. 5 times 2 is 10. That's where I got the 10 from. 6 times 2 is 12. And so now, once again, you can think of it however you want to think of it. I like same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. So I'm going to take 37 minus 10, that's 27. Keep the sign of the bigger number, it just so happens to be 37. Then you'll be exact, -27/12. Or you can think I'm 10 out of the hole. It takes me 10 down to go to 0, and then I have 27 left to go down, so I'll be 27 in the hole. And now, last but not least, this is a fraction that does reduce, so I need to divide it, both the top and the bottom, by 3 to represent it in a better form, -9/4. And that's it for today. So all we've done is we've added positives and negatives to our fractions.